As some organizations start bringing people back into the office cautiously, employees are going to notice changes to the workplace.
Yeah, so that challenge for leaders is to make this transition as seamless and as safe as possible. Joining us live now on Skype with some advice is local HR and recruitment expert Chris Dardis with Verseek. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for being with us today.
Good morning.
Yeah, this timeline keeps changing for a lot of businesses. Originally, we were hearing Labor Day, people were coming back, then maybe now you're pushing it to the end of the year. But slowly, people are starting to come back to what they should expect should look like a different office.
It is going to look like a different office, and it's going to feel like a different office, too. If you're starting to come back, what we've done is we launched a poll on our Verseek LinkedIn page asking our networks, what are your companies planning on doing? And what we've heard is about 30% of companies are trying to get back to work right now in some form or fashion, whether it be full-time or part-time. And then nearly 70% said that they were going to remain 100% virtual until at least 2021. And so every company is going to have a different plan, and I think companies need to be prepared for those plans to change.
Right, just like we're seeing with schools, right? That sort of flexibility and being able to respond. I guess the challenge here is you're responding to so many different things, right? The concerns of your employees, but also whatever's going on with the virus in the area your office is.
Exactly. Every plan should have measures that follow the Minnesota Department of Health guidelines. For instance, here at Verseek, we're walking around the office with masks on, not when we're at our desk, but when we're walking around. And then we're also filling out daily health screens. So, but you're right, Jason, like everybody needs to be prepared to pivot as quickly as they can, especially with school starting, because each individual household is dealing with individual circumstances. So leaders have to approach these plans and the return to office with a lot of grace and a lot of empathy. And I just heard on your previous story about the teachers, communication is key. Communication needs to come down from the highest level of leadership, and then that communication needs to be consistent as things change over the next month.
I appreciate you saying grace and patience with all of that, because that's one of the things that really scares, I think, a lot of parents, myself included, is, you know, what happens if someone in the class gets sick, or what happens if a teacher gets sick, and all of a sudden your plans are thrown up into the air that morning, that night before. Do you have any specific advice sort of beyond communication for these companies who have to understand that this is going to happen?
Sure. So I think companies are realizing that it is going to happen. So they have a plan written down with protocols that will say if somebody is exposed, maybe to quarantine for 2 weeks, and really to roll that plan out as early as possible to give your employees time to adjust to the thought of coming back to work, because most people haven't been stepped foot in the office for about 5 months. So it's going to be, change management is going to be very key during this time.
Good advice. Chris Dardis from Verseek. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.